Man, I gotta say, watching that one again, I got the butterflies again. Walking into that Sunday Night Football truck was like a top 5 highlight of my life so far.
Yeah,
So,
Nick, you get to do all the cool stuff, man. They just locked me in this like office, this like closet I retrofitted.
I
I like it.
mean, it's a cool closet though. At least it's not like at least it's not a closet under the stairs kind of vibe. But yeah, definitely could have talked to Fred all day. Love hearing all of his stories about all the different things Next Gen Stats are able to tell. Like I said, I'm a data science nerd, and that is why this segment might be the one I've been most excited for this entire episode, because this is how fans and data nerds like myself, and hopefully you guys watching, but you guys are cool data nerds unlike me, how we can get our voices heard in creating the next gen stat. And to help us do that, we've got Shannon Brazil from the training and certification team here at AWS. Shannon, can you give a brief intro into who you are and what you're here to talk about?
Yeah, for sure. So my name's Shannon Brazil. I'm a security engineer with AWS Trust and Certification. It's a bunch of teams that I work with. But essentially, I create and help demo some of the AWS services to help you deep dive into AWS services and prep you for those certification exams.
I am very excited we're able to get you on here because we have a big thing coming up this year. It's something that's been running for multiple years in a row now called the AWS Big Data Bowl. Shannon, you're way better explaining things than I am. So what is the Big Data Bowl?
Yeah, so let's go ahead and share my screen, and I'll take you through it.
All right.
So the NFL partners with AWS, and they put on this Big Data Bowl competition. It's essentially the premier sports analytics competition where anybody in the world can participate, analyze millions of player data, game data, like data tracking points to really discover those game-changing football insights, all using AWS services. And it's really like something about creating and finding that next-gen stat.
That's cool.
Awesome.
When I hear the term Big Data Bowl, I feel like I gotta shout it like a football, like Big Data Bowl. Like it's gotta
yeah, right. You get pumped up, right? So how does this relate to next gen stats exactly? This is basically, from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, this is basically a way for fans to be able to say, hey, we think this would be a cool next gen stat, right? And I think we've actually had stats from previous years come about because of this competition, right?
Yeah, exactly. So in here, like, we will essentially provide you with all of the information that you need, including that data set that you need in order to find the next gen stat. This competition is really about putting your head together and using maybe some potential AI services to really try to find that next gen, but also figure out some game predictions. And we had some really sweet finalists last year where we had one person analyze linebacker coverage effectiveness. We had someone that quantified how receiver routes affect defensive coverage. It was really neat.
That's really cool. And who all can enter then? Because I see some categories here.
Yeah. So there's 3 tracks that you're going to want to look at. The first one is if you're an undergrad student, you're going to want to look at the undergrad track. This is open to groups and individuals, specifically for graduate students. Then you have the metric stats. So that's really about when or creating a post-snap outcome. This is for player data, so player tracking data and metrics that you want to create. And then you have the coaching presentation track. So this one is taking off your helmet as a player, putting on that coach ball cap, and just thinking as a coach. You want to be able to create something that makes a coach say, I never really thought about it that way, but it makes perfect sense when it comes to that metric and that new stats.
Gotcha. So it's like the next level.
Yeah, next level.
So I want to make sure we're following here. So we've got a competition here that's open every year, and you're able to submit what's going on, what you think would be a cool next gen stat, your own ideas about how to track one. And you can do it as an undergrad and face other undergrads. If you're not an undergrad, you can either go the player route and do the metric track, or the coaching route and do the coach presentation track, right?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So Todd, I think I need to find a way to get back in undergrad, because I don't think I have a chance with the other one.
That's the only place you think you might have a chance.
Yeah.
No, I shouldn't say that. There's probably really smart undergrads out there.
I'm going to say I'm not going to have a chance in any of them.
Might not have a chance.
Yeah.
Wait, Shannon, so those are the different tracks. So how do I actually enter and participate in the Big Data Bowl? How do I?
Yeah, so what you're going to want to do is I will just change my screen right here so you can see it. You're going to want to go to a site called Kaggle, and that's where the National Football League has their analytics competition. You're going to be able to find, this is the 2025 one, because they haven't released the 2026 one because it's going to give away the actual overview of what that competition theme is. But this one will give you a pretty good idea. When you get there, you're going to have the ability to register for it and then hit a submission button. Obviously, this one says late submission because, it's closed. But when you do get into the 2026 one, you're going to have a submission and it's going to guide you through the entire process of submitting all of your ideas.
Gotcha. So this is last year. So we're giving you guys an example of last year's focus. So each year has its own different focus of pre-snap plays, something like that. Shannon, when is this year's being announced? When can people mark their calendars to get involved here?
Yeah, so what you're going to do is this page right here gives you a little bit of hint of when, right? So if you want to enter in the mentoring program, the applications are due on September 17th. But the Big Data Bowl competition actually goes through from September 2025 into February 2026. So
Cool.
you're going to have, and there it is right here. So by September 26th, you should be seeing all the information that you need in order to get into that Big Data Bowl competition.
Gotcha. Okay. So mentors, you guys got to sign up by the 17th. Looks like I'm getting word here from my producers backstage that, like you said, the announcement for what this year's focus is going to be is coming September 26th. So everybody set your calendars. Todd, I'm going to have you be my mentor. Maybe we can get involved here. So Shannon, let's assume, let's pretend like this is this year's. So it's September 26th. We come to this website. We see what the theme is. Pre-snap behavior, right? Todd and I are a tag team mentor-mentee duo. We want to get involved. What do we do to get our ideas out there?
So the very first thing you do is that you're going to want to sign up for AWS free tier account. Once you sign up for that, you can go ahead and explore all the AWS services. I highly recommend you doing that before the competition starts because you're going to want to get that little bit of an edge of understanding what to use. And then once you know what to use and the competition actually starts, you're going to go into the data section. And I'm going to scroll all the way down, but as you're looking at this, you're going to see all of the types of metrics and stats that you can actually use and leverage and to create your ideas.
Okay.
But as you scroll down, you're going to have that download data. And this is actual NFL game data that they're going to provide for you. It's about 5 gigs worth of data for game plays, game player
it's real
stats,
data. It's not hypothetical data. These are real.
This is real data. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
That's pretty sweet. All
yeah.
Right.
So, and once you get into it, obviously you're going to know what to do with it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think so. I need all the help I can get here.
That's what I was gonna ask. What I've got the data now. What, and I kind of want to see is there an example from last year that helps kind of bring this all together?
So I can't show you an example from last year, but I can show you something that I've done.
Oh man, even better.
Yeah.
All right.
So I absolutely love using SageMaker Studio. I think it has a wonderful amount of usability when it comes to managing and essentially training a machine learning agent or model on how to use that data and kind of tweak it for what you need.
And this is for real quick, Shannon, just to clarify, this is from free tier, right?
This is specifically from free tier. Yeah.
Okay, so guys, for those of you who don't know, if you aren't an AWS customer already, please go sign up for a free tier account, and you get to play around with these exact tools that Shannon is showing us to submit your own entry. So I highly encourage everybody to do that. It's free, so gotta love AWS free tier. All right, but need to make sure we called that out.
Yeah, so just before you get started into SageMaker, you got to store your data somewhere. So I stored it in S3 bucket in just a simple bucket, right? So you just store it in there and you can connect it directly to your SageMaker Studio.
Okay.
You're going to create a studio. I'm going to share that right here. This is what that looks like. And I decided to create a Jupyter lab.
All right.
And this is what that looks like. And the reason why I did that is because I'm a Python girl. I love working with it. It's very versatile when it comes to creating clean data, because that's what you're going to want to do first, is clean your data. Make sure that you can actually use it. This is synthetic data, just an FYI. This is not like actual game data, but I needed something, and I didn't want 5 gigs, so I just put 20 plays in here.
Okay, cool.
But as you could see, and I'll zoom in a little bit for you.
Perfect.
Yeah, as you can see, I'm using specific columns like yards gained, or offensive formation, and yards to go. And if I had known that like the gen stat that we wanted to talk about was defensive formations, I would have done that. But I went for offensive formations, like
Perfect.
a normal.
We need a balance, Shannon. We can't go all one side of the ball.
Shannon, can I be your mentee? I don't know that I trust Nick to do any of this stuff.
Oh, what the heck, man? I could provide you guys some entertainment.
I was going to mention, though, if you have questions about how SageMaker Studio works, or how Jupyter Notebooks work, or big data type stuff on AWS, we have past episodes that walk through some of the things that Shannon is talking about right here. So go check those out as well. Get caught up on SageMaker. And where are we going from here, Shannon?
Yeah, so obviously what we want to do is that we want to analyze the game plays, right? We want to see what the success rate for different offensive formations in terms of successful plays, and maybe average the yard for each successful play. And by doing that, you start creating a visualization of your data. You start telling those stories, how Fred was saying, like all of those metrics come together and they tell a story. So that's what we're trying to do here.
Okay.
And as you start telling that story and you start formalizing that data front, then you get to one of the greatest things is you can actually train a model, right? So here I've trained a model on the success rates and the different plays, different formations, where the yards are, what the down is, etc. And as you can see, the training was great. The accuracy is a bit low here, so I might change the model, but I only have 20 plays. So.
Exactly. And what I love about this too, so we're looking at success from the I formation, right? Like the possibilities are endless no matter what the theme that is announced on the 26th is for everybody, right? Because even from an I formation, people can look at variables like, does it matter which running back it is? Does it matter turf versus grass? Does it matter weather conditions? Like all that stuff. Like when I got done talking to Fred and Josh from the Next Gen Stats teams, I kind of just sat in my hotel room for like a couple hours being like Inception. Like there's so many layers here. And it's so cool that fans can actually have a voice here and get their own stat put onto the Next Gen Stats program, and maybe even talked about by Fred and his team on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, and you're 100% right with situational stats. So it's one thing to be like, an I formation has like a 25% chance, but once you put in like different types of metrics, those parameters of maybe what down it is, or what field position you have, or how many yards to go until the next down, you can start playing with that situation. This is what I've done here. So I created a live demo dashboard of that data that I trained my model on. So this model is giving me exactly what I need to understand that if I am, and we're going to just go into it here, if I'm on second down, and let's say I'm on the 42-yard line and I have 7 yards to go, right? So it's telling me that the prediction is, if I do an I formation, the chances are I'm going to lose 2 yards. If I do a single back, the chances are I'm going to succeed, but only gain 2 yards. So this is kind of like a really cool prediction that you could do with it.
Okay.
But let's say I decide to do like, we're at the first down, right? And you're going to see that it's going to say no data because, again, I only have 20 plays to go off of. If I had 5 gigs of data, obviously that's going to be different. Which position do I want? I want, let's say, midfield. So I want the 50-yard line. And then my yards to go, we're going to go with 10 yards to go.
Okay.
So update that. Now it's telling me that I have 2 successful plays where shotgun in this particular situation was successful. And on average, I gained 13.5 yards.
I mean, that's super cool. I
That's
really
so cool.
wish I just want to stay here and play with this,
I know.
for the rest of the week. But we're getting lots of screams from our producers backstage here that I think we're a little bit over. But Shannon,
No problem.
thank you for demonstrating this, man. And like I said, guys watching, I mean, everybody's got ideas about what the coolest next gen stat should be. So if you want to get your voice heard, like I said, follow Shannon's instructions, rewatch this on a loop, and sign up for free tier and get diving into the data. Watch out for the announcement September 26th, right, Shannon?
Yes.
September 26th, get a mentor and throw your hat in the ring. See if you can get the next gen stat coming from you. I think it's a pretty cool opportunity. I can't wait to try to give it a whirl. I need to apparently bribe Todd a little bit more to help me out, but hopefully we'll get there.
Do you know Python?
Good luck, everyone.
Yeah, thanks Shannon.